Alright, welcome back to the Dragon Invitational. Oh, we don't need those name bars on. That's a bit awkward. But this is game number 2 in this best of 3. Quarterfinal match currently going underway. Spawning here in the bottom right corner of the map from Mind Sanity. It's the blue Protoss player Stardust. And his opponent in the top left. A cannon defender to say the least. The red Zerg Ragnarok. Now, I believe the Dragon Invitational has close to, if not a $3,000 prize pool. It's a pretty hefty amount of cash to be fighting over. Actually, let me tab out and check. Oh, no, it's actually just a $2,000 prize pool. Oh, okay. Well, I say just in air quotes. It's still a lot of freaking money, but $1,200 for first place, $500 for second, $300 for third. Looks like there's no fourth place prize. So, coming into this, I mean, one of the things you got to consider is like that's a lot of cash for first place. I mean, honestly, you want to be the one who wins Dragon Invitational. There's some pretty scary players left at this point too. You got to consider the winner of this plays a Terran in the semifinals, no matter what. So I was going to go with the Forge again, but. Well, we haven't played the series of Alive versus Supernova yet. That'll be the next best of 3 after this one. It'll be the last one we cast today. But I gotta be honest, if Ragnarok wins this series, I think Alive needs to play against him. If Stardust wins this series, I want to see Supernova against Stardust in the semifinals. I think would be my little dream scenario. If that doesn't happen, maybe I can set up a show match for it. I don't know, but either way, Stardust, of course, playing from Europe, guys. Ragnarok coming from Korea, but they're both playing on the North American server at the moment, so hardly like the worst lag in the universe, but nobody quite has that sweet, like home field advantage. But yeah, Stardust, I mean, he's known for going aggressive. He's known for going heavy with the cannons. Just being a bit of a nuisance with the probe right now. Not going to quite lose it, but it's kind of scary just how low this got. For Ragnarok, I would almost cancel that. Like, I don't think he could because he's not fast enough. Like the drone, not him, but the drone's not fast enough to just cancel and kill the probe if given the opportunity. But Pylon comes down once again, and Ragnarok, well, he went for a pull first this time, so no need to pull 500 drones if you've got those lings in the front line. But Stardust, I don't think is going to dedicate too heavily to this. One of the big things for Ragnarok, as well as with this Overlord Scout, he recognizes, oh, you've invested in both a Nexus and a Gateway. Yeah, he actually cancels the Pylon. They say you really just, you don't have a lot of money to work with here, but 2 lings across the map, 2 to stay home and defend against the Pylon. Well, not really defend. The Pylon's not a threat yet, but kill the Pylon off so you can take that third. Let's see here. The cannon will be done in time, I imagine, as the probe can always throw down some wall here if necessary. Yeah. Stardust not going to take any guff for this. Cancel the pylons. Nice moves. I really like the SimCity in the wall. Oh, probe at the top right does get picked off here by those lings, so no sneaky pylons going to be coming out behind this. The Overlords are in a little bit of a better position to possibly scout this game. It is worth noting that while he did get caught off guard a little bit by those oracles, it was hardly the end of his life, and actually dealt with it pretty decently. But that was not knowing what was coming. This time he'll probably have a good idea what is coming in. Ragnarok taking 3 bases behind this, set himself up here for a really nice mid game. Stardust though in a, I don't know, bit of an interesting spot right now where he's not dedicated to a lot of cheese through the cannons, something we really expected to see out of him, because cannon openers, I feel, even if you invest too much, like it wasn't the cannons that lost Stardust that last game, it was the Oracle choice, IMO. You get that third base up so quick, you get a lot of money but no gateways to really pump out those units, and as a consequence we really saw him just get overwhelmed by the Hydralisk army. Same sort of situation could happen here though. Ragnarok could go for those roaches and get those Hydras out, and Stardust doesn't have Colossus. I mean, I don't know if you guys were watching the production tab at the end of the game, but like the Colossus were on the way. Like that's how close that was for Stardust to hold, but this game, this scenario won't be the same situation. He's going to try to run away with the lings. Sadly, we'll lose one. Oh, what was that map? There's a map a little while ago that they added this in. I want to say Neoplanet S. I think there was another Frost map. Not Frost, but like another frosty map other than Neoplanet S that I'm totally brain farting on, where they added the physics mechanic for the ice that I thought was really cool. So like when units die in the ice, they actually slide a little bit. Yeah, I don't know if you guys remember when it first came in, but it like was really ridiculous, and you know, Ling would die here but slide all the way halfway across the map over the ramps. I love the ragdoll effect. Anyway, Spy Council coming out of here for Stardust. I don't imagine this will be for DTs, but most likely for Blink. If he is going to play more standardized and less cheesy, one of the big things that we've been seeing a lot out of players, and I hesitate to call it standard, of course, is the fact that Blink, with +3 weapon upgrades, is such a pain in the ass for Zerg players to deal with right now. I don't know what changed in the meta state of the game, but we've been really moving away from fungal growth. We've been moving away from infestors. We've been seeing less and less of that for Zerg players, so Blink has kind of found a way back into the game. If Ragnarok identifies this is going to be Blink with +3 weapons early enough, then we may actually see that infestation pick come out with some fungal growths. Because one of the things about the Stalkers, guys, is it's not about taking one big and fight like last game against the Stalkers. It's fungal growthing 8 or 10 of them, killing them off chunks and chunks at a time. You know, the same way force fields will cut an army down and, you know, force 5 roaches to fight away from the rest, fungal growths can perform the same duty against Stalkers, and it adds a little bit of DPS. I mean, 30 damage over, like, what is it? Like, it's like 30 damage over, like, 5 seconds. I don't know. It's hardly the highest DPS thing of the game, but fungal growth does have some pretty decent damage associated with it. Ragnarok taking a 4th here pretty quickly, though. I wouldn't quite go as far as to call it bold, but recognizing Stardust has invested a lot into his own 3rd, it kind of gives him that freedom to push around with it. Big scout off here with the Overseer. Scouts the gateways, but also sees that Twilight Council ticking away, and usually you're not going to see charge lots coming out of this first. So Roach is on the way, Hydra's coming out. There's a lot of Lings as well, which will contend with this early and nicely. Stardust may look to defend his 3rd. Yeah, extra everything coming out right now. Oh my god. But despite the one true wall here, there's only also one cannon behind it. Force fields on these sentries do go down, and Lings start to bleed out. There's a lot of Lings here, though. The Roaches could possibly hammer away at the cannon, but I think for Stardust, or for Ragnarok's sake, it might be best to sit back and wait till he's got that tech. I mean, 4th base on the way, he's got the Infestation Pit. I wouldn't put it past Ragnarok to go for Swarm Host eventually at some point, but Hydralisks and Fungal Growths I think are going to be his best friend for the time being. Yeah, Link's just going to run in here with only one cannon to stop them. They'll get some good probe kills before going down. I mean, they will go down, but they'll get some good probe kills before doing so. So 3 dead so far, and that number's going to keep ticking up. We got some... well, an attack set up here on the left side of the map, but really, what is this attack? It's one Stalker and a lot of sentries. I mean, that'll change when the pylons finish up, but chipping away at the rocks for the time being. Ragnarok actually has time to set up a flank for this if you wanted to. Go around the other side, but no necessity to do so. I thought this was going to be for fungal growth, by the way, but instead it's going to be for hive tech, and what we're most likely going to see is Vipers instead. So still a caster unit nonetheless. It's good to have some kind of support for your army. I'm talking a big game up for fungal growths, but honestly, Blinding Cloud's not too bad either. Pushing up this ramp here. Where are those force fields? Don't run down! Oh, Ragnarok! That could have been much worse. I don't know why Stardust didn't seal the deal there. There's kind of just like that gap. One more force field would have cut out so many of those units. But Lings here on the right side of the map need to get up to the top right side of the map. It looks like this army here on the left. Stardust wants to keep pushing, but... Ragnarok coming down the ramp. This might be a huge mistake. It's on top of the sentries, though. Stardust not paying attention for just a moment. It's going to cost him a lot of his very critical units. Stalker's blink forward, but that's okay because Ragnarok picked up like a good 5 or 6 sentries in that attack. He holds the top right while this is going on. He's got plenty of larvae to work with, but not a lot of money, sadly. Only on 66 drones. Not quite that sweet 80 count you'd love to have at this point, but... I don't know, guys. This is not going to be an easy hold at all. He's going to pick up a couple more sentries here, and the ones that are left don't have a lot of energy, but that Stalker count is compiling here quickly. Stardust still half the supply of his opponent, pretty much, but I'd argue a little bit more of an efficient supply, too. Link's coming from the backside to do swap, but Zelt's warped him from Stardust, who's going to hold on to this without too much issue. His level 2 weapon upgrades are shining in pretty nicely right now, and, well... he's closed that gap quite a bit. You know, this was double, now it's closer to being even. Hydras are so good against these gateway units, as I said before, but even then they're struggling to deal with this. So Stalker's going to blink forward. This will cost him a couple more, but he's going to pick up more of the Hydras for this. Roach is trying to filter in. One Hydra here on the high ground is probably the only one not being shot at by these Stalkers, but once again, the compiling amount of Stalkers is getting out of hand. He's not killed any... well, he's got a couple drones at this point, but not exactly a devastating amount, but it's the fact that he's beating back this army supply. You know, these Zealots, they finally connect to anything, whether it's Hydras, whether it's Roaches, they deal some damage. Drones are being pulled into this. This is looking messy. This is looking really gross here for Ragnarok. Actually, Stardust is just a little bit out of control right now. Lings are flooding in here, but Lings aren't going to stop this outright. Roach is trying to get to the front lines, and I need a moment to breathe. Oh wow, Jokaz Thank you for that, man. I'll talk about that in a moment. Roach is trying to gather up their forces, so to speak, but he's starting to bleed out the drones. This was something that was okay before because he really wasn't losing a lot. You know, he was actually holding, still mining comfortably behind this. The infestation pit might go down here. I think he's a little bit hesitant to kill it because he doesn't want broodlings to pop out on top of his army that he's barely starting to get ahead with. So I want to point out this number for 40 hasn't really changed, but the number for Ragnarok has fluctuated insanely. These level 2 weapon upgrades are just a little too much to contend with. GG's going to be called Stardust. We'll take game number 2, evening up the series and give us a game at number 3.